Welcome back, everybody. My name is Gregtech, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. So, when I last left off, I had completed the heavy-duty plates and I believe the buggy seat, and I was in the middle of working on the oxygen gear. I've since completed the oxygen gear. I have the parts sitting in a box since I already had the oxygen gear from opening a loot bag earlier. Which unlocked the parachute and the oxygen tanks. The parachute, pretty simple with woven cotton and some polyethylene rods along with some fine steel wire. And then the oxygen tanks requiring 2 oxygen pipes, 14 compressed aluminum, which is about 42 aluminum, and 2 empty cells in order to make the 2 light oxygen tanks. I then was looking at the rocket engine, which requires this compressed alloy. The compressed alloy then being a compressed dual bronze and a compressed dual aluminum along with a compressed coal in order to make this weird alloy that's necessary in order to complete this rocket engine here. In addition to that, just some other miscellaneous parts that aren't too terrible to make. Some additional compressed steel, 24 steel there, 16 of my plates. This guy needing 48 steel for the 16 compressed steel. The empty canister being 4 more compressed steel plates, so another 8, 9 steel each for 2 of these empty canisters, and then 1 last heavy-duty plate plus that workstation that I've got sitting in my inventory. At least I think I still have one sitting in there. If not, I may be making more EV chips. But in any case, I was working on this stuff, and particularly the compressed aluminum. I was making almandine over in the electrolyzer along with the thermal centrifuge. That's why I've got this 4 stacks of tiny aluminum dust, some 51 aluminum. I've got some more stuff over there that I'm currently in the middle of processing. But it turns out that I need quite a bit of aluminum. So in order to facilitate that, I finally reworked my farm. I have a 5x5 farm now. It's got various stuff currently inside of it. If I actually come around here, I actually have night vision goggles on my headset now. I've got all 5 of the ore berries sitting in here from the aluminum, copper, iron, gold, and tin. You can see the ores sitting there, and that's because I pulled down most of the plants from my farm, and I've decided to bring them up here. And the reason I'm doing it up here instead now is because I wasn't really doing a whole lot with it before. I would go up there only every once in a while in order to do anything with it. So I decided to bring it down here and start working with it down here. As you can see, I've got plenty of weeds that are growing everywhere, but in addition to that, I also have lots of the plants. I've got Aurelia here, I've got Capon, I've got Faru, I've got my Galvania over here, I've got Stickreed, Blazereed, I've got 1 tear stalk that grew while I was trying to breed up the Blazereed. I've got Corium for leather, which is very nice. I actually have 1 too many guys there. Over here, I have bauxite, or boxia rather. Yeah, good. Another boxia there that just duplicated. I've got this is argentia here. I do keep getting chilies every once in a while, which is kind of annoying, but not too bad overall. Here is my Titania that I am slowly growing. These will not ever fully mature because underneath I don't have titanium, either the ore or the block. Over here I have God of Thunder, and back here I have my very first Shelenium. And you'll probably notice that I've got an interesting what am I looking at tooltip down in the lower right. Yes, I have updated to 2.0.6.8, which released this weekend, so I am doing a little bit of beta testing. But I tell you, being able to see what these scanned crops are after I've scanned them. So when they normally come up, you'll see them, they'll just say the crop part, and then they'll say currently harvestable, effective tool axe, etc., etc. And then once you've hit it with a scanner, you'll be able to see its stats. So you can see how much water it's got. You can see, so like that one right there is just a regular crop. If I hit it with the sensor, or with the portable scanner. Now you can see that it's a tier 6 coupon. It's on stage 2 of 3. It's at 84% growth, 85 now. So you can see all the stats that are for each of these crops. It's fantastic once you've gotten a large farm to know that the crops you've planted are growing, that they can grow, whether they're ready to harvest. It just makes for an all-in-all good setup when you're working with a large amount of crops like I am. Ooh, another Shelenium. And I got a seed bag. Fantastic. That will come over here. And pardon me while I check out my sheet. All right, looks like this is a good spot for it to go. There we are. All right, let that guy grow then. But as you can see, I am slowly building up all of my materials that I can use in order to do something with them. Right now, basically what I am aiming to do is I am aiming to collect all these materials that can duplicate ores, or in the case of the ore berries, can be ground into the dusts that are necessary. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to get a large amount of stuff going here to where I can... Which one of these wasn't scanned? One of these it looked like it wasn't scanned. Maybe I just brushed across that one. In any case, I am, like I say, working to get all of these materials to either ore duplicate or to just get the raw materials. And down here, what I'm planning on doing is having one of these hatches go via Ender IO conduits, and I'll probably be making some filters in order to filter them. But essentially, I want to move these things along in one way, shape, or form over to my my storage drawers, and some of them will do some processing first. Whoops. Standing on steam, not a good idea. And then have it directly insert into one of these guys with a void upgrade on it. And the reason for that is so that I can constantly be grabbing new materials without worrying about other materials clogging up the rest of the system. It'll be quite handy, I hope. But all in all, just working on this right now. That was the majority of my weekend, was building all of this up. The one exception to that is right outside here. I've been waiting for so long, and I finally got it to happen. I finally have my industrious bees here. So I'm going to give a quick look at these guys and see which of them match up nicely. You can see that it is ignoble stock. But having these guys now, I can get the pollen clusters and I can finally build up an alveary setup. That'll be very handy, hopefully. My biggest thing will be looking at the alveary upgrades, things like cold or heat or rain or not rain or whatever, so that I can have these guys all inside alvearies and constantly producing more materials. With this update, there are several combs that have changed. I've been digging through them, and they've changed several of the combs so that they are now ore duplicators just like the crops. That could be a little annoying. I'm hoping it's not. So like this Mars comb, let's see, the Mars comb, let's see what it does. It just gives you Mars stone dust. There's a couple of these though that when you get the combs, they duplicate ores instead of just making tiny piles of stuff. I don't have a good one that I'm aware of right now. Yeah, most of the bees now do things such as duplicating ores. So it'll be fun to get into the bees, working with them, trying to explore and see if any of them are really worthwhile. Set up kind of an industrial alveary to where I can start producing certain resources that are harder to get, and combining it with what I'm already growing with the farm here. Otherwise, not a whole lot has happened. I finally finished the toluene. I finished making an entire medium voltage fluid tank right here, absolutely full of toluene. So that's worth 1,280 gelled toluene. Divide that by 4, and that's roughly how many either industrial TNT or regular TNT I can craft out of it, depending on whether I've got the nitrate solution or I'm just using the sulfuric acid. So yeah, good stuff is going on. I can finally check that guy off. But the next update from me will probably be once I have completed these guys and hopefully these two over here, and have access to the Tier 1 rocket. So I'll be back after a while. We'll see you guys after I've made a little bit more progress. Enjoy! I'm back again, and I've been doing a lot of the crop stuff, but in the meantime, in between things, I actually gathered up all the aluminum I needed in order to compress it and get it into this setup here so that I can make my 2 light oxygen tanks. That will complete the oxygen tank portion of this, and of course opens up stuff like the oxygen compressor, the oxygen collector, the frequency module, which I can then use in order to make some of the other things. And as you can see, it's going to take some more compressed stuff. I have the concentrator left over from the previous quest where I didn't need it for the oxygen gear. More compressed stuff in order to make the frequency module, and it wants me to make 2 of them. I believe one of them goes on you, and the other one goes on in the moon lander for the rocket. So I'm gonna keep going with those things. Let's see here. I have my scanner. Let me just really quick top off my power there, and if I come over to the forestry farm area, you'll see that I have expanded this quite a bit. Yeah, I'd say all in all I'm doing a pretty good job. I've got some weeds I need to clean out from there real quick. This plant right here in the middle of the screen, along with this other gray one here, those are, what are those, Reactoria? No, Stargadium. Those are Stargadium. So I am working on some of the more advanced plants, trying to get access to them, and I better take care of these weeds before they go absolutely crazy over here. So I'm working away, trying to get this stuff. Right here I am trying to get the, what is that silly thing called? The Fertilia plant. I'm getting lots of Venimilia, but no Fertilia plant yet. But yeah, these 2 Stargadium, I'm trying to get those guys. They just happen to have crossbred from a couple of the Shelenium. How would you pronounce that? That one's Platina. Shelenium. So the Shelenium is... I've almost got that complete, but it has been providing me with some stuff. Over here I have Shining for some silver. All of my nickelback is just sitting there because I don't have any nickel blocks under them. Several of the Galvania are still sitting there because I don't have any blocks under them. But you can definitely see the majority of the rest of my plants. I have tear stalks here so that I can get some of the gas tiers. And then this right here is Titania for when I finally get titanium. Ooh, that was a quick one. And there it gave me Titania. Right next to it is the Argentia, which is for silver processing. Back over here we have the God of Thunder. Let's get this guy cleaned up real quick. What do we have here? Aurelia. I already have a full set of Aurelia over there, so I don't need that. So yeah, just all in all, working away on all of these plants. Some of these higher tier plants, like the God of Thunder's tier 9, tier stocks are tier 8. The selenium, though, is tier 12. The platina is tier 11. So having those guys do some of these things. There's another platina seed. Yeah, having these guys around, trying to get things like, I want to put Reactoria over here. That right there, this little guy is Starwort, so that is for getting stuff like Nether Stardust and Wither parts. Even though I have a Wither farm already, it is nice to just have that automatically gather stuff for me rather than having to go over into the Nether in order to deal with that. So yeah, just all in all, working myself away. Trying to get access to a few more plants. Peanuts. Unfortunately, the forestry farm does not seem to want to pick the cotton, so the cotton will probably get removed in favor of something else. What do we have? Spanish moss. Yuck. So yeah, I'm going to keep going, and I'll bring you guys maybe back in a little bit later. And we're back again. I've taken just a little bit of time, took a break from my crops, and decided to go after the space stuff. And so I built everything I needed in order to complete my current quests regarding the space race. I'm going to begin with the schematic, the tier 1 rocket schematic here, with just the workstation, the plate, and a programmed circuit 1. So I'm going to swipe this guy out of here. I do need to double check my clean room because I did let it run out of power and it stopped a while back. Yeah, there we go. Back up to 100%. And down we go. And right in here is my wonderful HV circuit assembler. So let's real quick grab the chip and one of those guys. Let it complete that part of the quest. Maybe? Maybe not? Alright, there it is. Shows it's complete. I may have had it in my inventory earlier and it already registered it as complete. Oops, and that. There we go. We'll let that run for a little while, however long that is going to take to complete that. And put that back in there. The next quest on the list is to make a couple of empty canisters in order to make the in order to make the blank fuel tanks. So let's real quick make those guys. They are just 4 of the compressed steel, 4 rings in an MV assembler with nothing else. So need 8 of those and 8 of the rings into my MV assembler. Let that crank out 2 of those. Next after that I will need the dual compressed and 8 steel. So there's those 2 and 8 stainless steel screws. There's 1 canister. They don't like to stack, that's why I have to pull them out. That's unfortunate, but is what it is. And there is the other canister. That should now ring that I have, not yet, I need 16 of these now. There we go. There's the small fuel canister. Pop one of these guys in here. Drop those in there. And I get the small canister back. So I was looking at the canisters, and I remember in Galacticraft, the canisters came back on certain crafts. So that's why I only wanted to create 2, because several of these require you to create 2. And so that way you can do that. And then those, and then, oops, might want to hang on to that stuff just to make absolutely sure I've gotten all the requirements. Good, there's the blank fuel. Now I just need the small fuel canisters, which is bronze and aluminum, along with the screwdriver and the hammer. And there are the 2 rocket fuel canisters. Excellent. Alright, so that quest is now done. It's going to want me to fill those with rocket fuel, I guess. Next I need 8 compressed steel and 16 of my plates. So 8 of these guys and 16 of these. There's the rocket fins. And then 4 of them. I need the hammer, the file, and the saw. So my saw is in here. How did those go? Saw down in the bottom. those guys there, and then what else? Hammer and file. Okay, so hammer and file. And there are my 4 rocket fins. There we go. 4 rocket fins done. Nose cap, 2 screws, the inverted lamp, and the 4 heavy-duty plates. So I've got the 2 screws, there's the lamp, and 4 of the heavy-duty plates. And then to make it, I need the screwdriver and the hammer. So let's put the file back, screwdriver, I already have the hammer. Screwdriver, hammer, nose cap, screws, and all 4 of those plates. There we go. There is the rocket nose cone done. Next is the rocket engine, needing the 2 empty canisters, detectors, steel box, all of that stuff to make these guys. So those up there, canister, heavy duty plates, firebox casing, activity detectors. So those, canister, and then the 16, or no, the 8 plates. So there we go, 8 plates. That should be 1, 2, there we go. That completes that. So that makes all of our individual little rocket parts. The parachute needs 3 fine steel wire plus the 2 canvas, so there's 3 of that. And my 2 canvas, and I believe that can just go right in here like that. No. That needs to go where? Oh, in the HV assembler. Okay. Which I have all the way down here. So 2 of those, 3 of those. Grab some power. Pop that in. Go check on our circuit real quick here. Oh, that is going to take more than 1. Okay. That is news to me. I did not think about looking at that to see how much power that was going to take. This guy needs... Wow. Okay. I am going to need to charge up all 4 of these guys, or all 3 of these guys. I'm going to need to charge up all of my batteries and use them that way. I've got a 4th. Oh, probably also in here. There it is. Yeah. Alright, so it'll take me just a bit while I wait for those to charge up. We can go ahead and do the rest of these quests, however. Let's see here. That was the parachute. So the parachute is all done. Frequency modules. Let's put these guys away real quick here. And I can actually go ahead and put that on just so I don't forget it later. There we go. And so next up, 4 tin, 4 aluminum, 4 basic wafers. So 4 tin, 4 aluminum, 4 basic wafers, the sensors, the monitor covers, and both batteries. There we go. And then I need these guys. So aluminum, then wafer, then tin. Aluminum, wafer, tin, battery, cover, and sensor. There's one, and then there's the other. So there's our 2 frequency modules. Yeah, see, that'll play into making the lunar lander, or the moon lander rather. Interesting, it wants the 2 frequency modules on that as opposed to the one that you wear. Huh, okay. Let's really quick do the oxygen compressor. So steel, the bronze, the aluminum, piston motor. Okay, those. Steel, bronze, aluminum, piston motor, concentrator, and there we go. So, piston motor canister, aluminum, bronze, no, piston motor canister. That wasn't quite it. Piston motor canister, one bronze. Oh, and the concentrator needs to go up there. There we are. There is our oxygen compressor. Excellent. And then the oxygen collector, which requires the other oxygen concentrator and the few other parts that I have, plus this 2X aluminum cable. So the 2X aluminum cable. Oh, I don't need that. I need that and this and this. There we go. All right. There's all of those things. Aluminum, steel. Motor. Canister. Concentrator? Not canister. That guy. The 2x aluminum power cable. There we go. There's the oxygen collector. So that wraps up pretty much all the quests with the exception of the Tier 1 schematic, which is going to take me a while because my poor little MV unit here, draining all of my batteries, trying to recharge all 4 of these batteries. Once all 4 of those are charged, that should put me high enough in power that all I have to do is make sure I'm swapping them out, and because 14 or 16 times 4 is a whole 6, that should be a whole 6.4 million EU, which is more than enough to finish up that craft, but that craft is going to take 450 seconds, so I will probably be standing there waiting for it to complete. I'll go ahead and take a break. Once that's done, I'll also work on filling the, I guess I'm making 8 canisters. It wants me to have 8 canisters for this part of the thing. So I'll be getting some more, I'm probably going to focus on getting some compressed steel in order to make all of those. I did make the stuff to make 5 of these right there. There's enough for the other 2. I just need to find a way to make, I guess, just a few more of those canisters, and we can start looking at the moon. The moon lander. Yeah, compressed copper, I'm going to have to make that. A bit more compressed steel, I'll have to make that, and then the steel poles in order to make this lunar lander. Oh, they want you to have 2 frequency modules, but you only need to use 1 to make it. Okay, so they expect you to have the 2 that you made, and then you'll use only 1 of them to make the lander, and the other one will go into the Galacticraft frequency module slot so you can hear sounds while you're on the moon. So I'm going to continue working on this. I will see you guys back here once I have that done so that we can wrap this video up. And back once more with the Schematics Tier 1 chip rocket. Finally getting that thing knocked out. It took 3 of my batteries. Not quite used up the 3rd one, even stopping at 100,000 left. I had 200,000 left in the main batteries. The other 2 were just below 100,000 when I pulled them, so that wasn't too bad. That does knock out the Tier 1 schematics. Next is the rocket fuel, which they want you to have 8 canisters. So there are my 8 canisters for the rocket fuel. Oh, goody. I get to make the fuel loader next. And then looking at making some locks. So that shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, an oxygen cell, put it in an HV vacuum freezer to get 1 cell of liquid oxygen. I will have to take a look. This guy is HV, isn't it? Yeah, I put it at HV. Yep, HV. So I can grab one of these batteries, throw it in there, and convert some oxygen over to the other stuff. But before I do that, I want to take care of these guys. This, I have those. I also need, where did I put them? There they are, buggy seats. And one of the rocket engines. So rocket engine here. That should update that quest. Yes, there is the moon lander. Need one of these. Let's see, what else is there? Engine at the bottom, steel rods. Okay. Get those guys there. That guy there, and that. And there is our moon lander. And that should actually get us, yes, there is our Tier 1 rocket. So, pull out the rest of the pieces and parts here. Both of the small fuel canisters. Does that do it? 3 extra compressed steel. Okay, I guess I need to make 3 more compressed steel for that. I need to make 2 more for this, plus 2 aluminum here. Steel fluid pipe. I think I still have a couple of those guys left that I can use. And then a large steel fluid cell to make the fuel loader. And then I can also work on the locks. So another break while I get these parts gathered up. I'll see you in see you shortly. All right, that wasn't too bad. I went ahead and I used the vacuum freezer and prepared a set of liquid oxygen. Grab one of these empty canisters, and there we go. 1 can of locks for lox and bagels. That will fill my canisters here. If you read the text in this thing, it will fill those guys 12 times. So that will be a fairly substantial amount of oxygen for running around on the other planets. I am very quickly, though, going to take a look at upgrading to the at least the medium tanks. I don't know if I can upgrade to the heavy tanks yet. Let's take a look. Medium oxygen tank. Oh, I can't make the medium oxygen tanks until I have the meteoric steel, which is going to require me to get to the moon in the first place. And then the heavy oxygen tanks require Desh from Mars, as well as tungsten steel, which I have to get the tungsten from the moon or from other sources anyway. So yeah, it'll be a little while before I can move to the heavier tanks, but at least for right now, these tanks will do just fine. They're easy enough. All I have to do is have one and fill it like that, and it takes up, you can see it took up 83 of the oxygen for that one. And then again, the same thing here, just craft those guys up, and that way I can still breathe, and I can carry around a canister like this and have it. I may fill up a second one just so that I have enough. Oh, hey, look at this. It's an Enderman. And he looks like a regular one? He is. Fantastic. Soul vial him. I can either stick him in there, or I can use him to do something else, but yeah, that'll work. I like having Endermen. I have another one in here, a fully healed one. I was thinking about turning the powered spawner that I originally was doing the wither skeletons with into an Enderman spawner, and having fans and stuff set up above my smeltery for unlimited ender pearls. I just haven't gone to that effort yet, but this will go a bit of the way towards doing that as well. I'm just going to stick him in here, and I'm going to add those. One of the other things I did earlier while I was waiting for materials and stuff, I ended up building 128 new storage chests, or the spruce drawers here, and stuck them all here surrounding my poor little controller, just so that I was actually looking at moving a ton of the materials in my chests over into this thing so that I can just run through here and search for it rather than having to run over there, look for it. Sometimes I can't find it, and then I open up NEI and I double click in here and I still try and find it. It's just a pain in the rear. So it's easier if I just do that with that guy there. In any case, we can now build the rocket since I got the other 3 compressed steel that I need. Let's see here. There's that. So the 3 compressed steel, 2 cans, rocket, fins. Let's see. Fin. No, that's not quite right. Yeah, in 2 closer. So there's 2 on the outside edge. I was off on this side by 1. The rocket, 2 of those guys there. 1 can, that thing there. That guy. I put all the rest of this stuff away. 8 of those, those 2. So here we go. We've got canister, no. Those guys go below the lunar lander. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that how this guy looks? Right up against those. Okay. And then the fins there. Why did I do that? I can just do that. There we go. That, those. And then my chip. Game is being a little jumpy there. All right. And there is the Tier 1 rocket. Excellent. Oh, where's my rocket? I should be holding my rocket. That's unfortunate. I'm used to seeing it hold the rocket. Well, at least I have the rocket. So, let's take a look at what that does. Yeah, that unlocks a few other things. Let's see. I do need to make the rocket fuel loader real quick. So let's get back. See, you can see it above my head there. Why can't I see it here? That's unfortunate. Oh well. All right. At least I have my rocket. That is the most important thing. Pump. That guy. Those guys. Canister, wafer, fluid pipe. So canister, fluid pipe. I must have those guys backwards. No? What did I do? Oh, wafer, then that. There. And there is the fuel loader. All right. So the fuel loader's done. I can now load some rocket fuel. The other thing I am going to have to do now is the rocket launch pad. So some compressed iron, advanced alloy, iron blocks to make the rocket launch pad. And once I have the rocket launch pad, yeah, are you prepared? A soulbind enchantment will keep an item with you when you die. Graves are placed on the location where you died. So yeah, trying to get that soulbound stuff would be nice, just so that I could, just so I can soulbind a few things. I don't know if I can soulbind these guys or if I have to do something different. We'll see. In any case, yeah, getting to the moon. Yeah, the moon's day-night cycle is really long, 8 overworld days worth. So, yeah, I will have to figure out when it's nighttime. I do have the night vision, 64 glowstone torches. I think I have those. Oxygen bubble distributor, I don't really need that. The moon's arrival. Detect the moon, and then, wow, they want you to collect quite a few of the moon stuff. Space station. Wow. Days on space station last longer than the overworld, so you can generate more solar power. That is very interesting. So it might be worth going into space and doing the space station. I know there are some things where I will eventually have to have a space station. Moon Dungeon. All right. Well, in any case, I am going to wrap this video up here. I'm going to work to complete the rocket launch pad and then get myself geared up and ready to take on space. I will see you guys in the next video where hopefully we will have our first rocket launch. I'm going to dig out where I want my rocket to go, and I'm going to make sure to fly up into the air and knock out any Natura clouds that might block me from going anywhere. I would hate to lose my rocket because of something dumb like that. So in any case, a little bit of work ahead of me, and hopefully in the next video we will be on the moon. Till then.